In a small-town cafe, where every day felt like the last, there worked a young waitress named Lena. Every morning, she woke up hoping that today would be better than yesterday. But with each passing day, her job became increasingly difficult. Surrounded by noise, constant orders, and demanding customers, Lena felt her patience wearing thin. She was full of ambition, dreaming of one day opening her own cafe where customers would feel at home. But now, due to the daily grind, those dreams seemed distant and unattainable. Thoughts constantly swirled in her mind about how hard it was to be on her feet all the time, to keep smiling, and to endure criticism. Today's shift was particularly tough. The cafe was packed from a morning, and she had to rush constantly, trying to meet her customers' demands. But Lena couldn't keep up with the flow of orders. It felt cramped with so many people, and even the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, which used to bring her joy, now only made her feel tired. The lights in the ceiling buzzed, the frying pan in the kitchen sizzled, and her thoughts were tangled in anxious worries. At one point, while she was delivering another order, one of the customers puzzled her with a question. "Hey, why you look so gloomy? Aren't you here to make people happy?" That was too much. Lena couldn't hold back her emotions and snapped back. "Don't forget, I'm not just here for your happiness. I'm here to earn a living." After that, she nearly burst into tears as she returned to the kitchen to collect her thoughts. At that moment, an elderly man approached her table. He looked to be in his 70s, with a kind but weary smile. There was something in his eyes that immediately caught her attention, but Lena was too lost in her thoughts to notice. "What would you like to order?" she asked, not hiding her irritation. "I just want a cup of coffee," he replied, as if he didn't notice her mood. "And maybe something sweet." Lena responded, feeling her heart grow heavier. Her thoughts were swirling around the hectic day, and she thought that this customer simply didn't understand how difficult it was for her. At one point, a sense of guilt washed over her. Trying to be polite again, even with limited success, proved to be quite challenging. She returned with the order and, looking at the elderly man, noticed how he was savoring his coffee and then taking a bite of his pie. His smile never left his face, and the more she looked at him, the more uncomfortable she felt. "Do you come here often?" she asked, trying to ignore his penetrating gaze. "Sometimes, but today is special for me. Sometimes coffee and silence are exactly what I need to remember who I am," he replied, and to her, his words sounded like a strange hint. Lena was puzzled by how an old man could enjoy simple things when there was so much chaos around. She just shook her head, not understanding what the man was talking about. Suddenly, her boss rushed to her table, looking displeased. After confirming that she had no time for a conversation, he left, leaving Lena alone with the customer. She quickly returned to work, trying to memorize the gaze of the elderly man, who saw in her more than just a waitress. As time went on, Lena began to notice the little things. Every sip of coffee, every glance from a customer, everything suddenly started to mean more. She realized that the elderly man continued to watch her. This gave her even more reasons to feel anxious. Gathering her strength, she tried to be polite, but irritation still broke through. "You can do something for yourself," he said, smiling. "Sometimes it's important to step away from the daily hustle and just enjoy the moment." These words pierced her like a string to the heart. She looked at the man in shock. Her own grievances suddenly faded, and she began to wonder why this conversation mattered so much to her. For a moment, Lena paused, reflecting on what she had said and how it sounded. She leaned toward the man and said, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." The man nodded, his face breaking into a warm smile that filled the cafe with warmth. "We all go through tough times," he replied, "but remember that simplicity and kindness can change someone's life. Sometimes even the most ordinary day can become a turning point." These words resonated in her heart. Lena felt her barriers crumble, and hope ignited within her. This was exactly what she had longed for, words that would brighten her day. From that moment on, she became more attentive to others. She started to smile, share warmth, and even the toughest shifts ceased to feel burdensome. The elderly man became more than just a customer. He became a friend, a creator who opened her eyes to a new perspective on life. In the morning, as Lena prepared the cafe for opening, she remembered what it was like to envision herself as the owner of a cafe where every customer was not just a source of income, but an important person. She recalled her dream that one day her establishment would be a place where people came for connection and understanding, not just for tea and coffee. With each new order, she tried to leave something special. Sometimes it was a small compliment, sometimes a joke, or simply a genuine interest in how her customer's day had gone. She soon realized that even small gestures could make people happy. Lena also began to notice moments that had previously seemed insignificant. She paid attention to how people engaged in conversations, how they laughed and shared stories. She wanted to get to know them better, not just as customers, but as individuals with their own lives and struggles. That brief conversation with the elderly man became a turning point in her life. She realized that kindness, even in the toughest moments, could change everything. Each day now became a new lesson for her. She started to see her job not just as a source of income, but as an opportunity to bring joy. Over time, many customers noticed that Lena had become more open and friendly. People began to come not only for coffee, but also for a chat with her. She became a small source of light in their lives. One day, she heard from an elderly woman that it was Lena's smile that had helped her through a difficult time. It could have been seen as just a job, but for Lena, it became something much more. Everything changed when she embraced that lesson about kindness. Each day, she reminded herself that simple words and actions could make a significant difference. And while it might sound cliche, Lena knew that kindness always comes back to you. Now, she tried to be that spark in the life of everyone who walked into her cafe. She always remembered how important it was not to lose sight of the simple joys. Thus, this fateful encounter became not just a lesson, but a starting point for a new life filled with gratitude and mutual support. She felt a lightness as each day served as a reminder of how essential it is to be kind and responsive. And when she smiled, she knew it truly mattered. In this way, Lena's story became a testament to how one meeting can change an entire life. Every day, she reminded herself that every person who walked into her cafe could be made happy with just a little effort. And this, as she understood, is what makes life worthwhile.